This video is sponsored by Minecraft. More on that later. If you are still using scroll wheel to change item slots in Minecraft, you are way behind everyone else, because every single good player in Minecraft uses keybinds. And I am making this video for two types of players. First, people who are using scroll wheel and looking for the perfect keybinds for them. And second, players who already have a keybind setup, but it's not efficient and optimal for PvP. This video is divided into three parts. In first part, I will explain all the basic settings that will improve your PvP experience instantly. In second part, I will explain all the keys you should consider for keybinds, and which keys are not good for keybinds. And in third part, I will go through every single PvP kit in Minecraft, and will tell you how to set up your hotkey for every single game mode in most optimal way. First, let's go through the most basic but important settings. View bobbing. Make sure to turn this off. It will remove the crosshair movement with your movement. Or if you really like the hand movement, then you can download a mod which only disables the crosshair movement and not the hand movement. And also, make sure to turn off FOV effect so that your screen don't stretch every time you sprint. Also, make sure to turn off damage tilt. It will make sure that when you take damage, your camera view doesn't shake or tilt. To access these settings, go to Options, then Accessibility Settings. Also, make sure to off text background of chat and make the chat size smaller. This will also make your game look clean. Now, let's move on to the next part, which keys you should consider for the keybinds. We will go from options for the first slot all the way to the options for 9th slot. But keep this thing in mind. Keep all your keys near to your movement buttons, like WASD and jump, so that you can switch very quickly. Also, make sure to set your drop key far away from your normal hand placement, so you don't accidentally drop anything during battles. And one more thing, make sure your offhand key and inventory key are not on same finger, because it can slow down your shield switching and totem refilling. So let's start the second part with first slot. Now here's a thing about number 1 key. Most people use 2 of these fingers to press their number 1 key, ring finger or middle finger, but they both have their problems. If you use middle finger for number 1 key, you won't be able to press W key. That means you have to stop every time to press your number 1 key. And if you use ring finger for pressing number 1 key, then let me tell you something. Ring finger has the slowest reflex time among all the fingers. So what is the optimal key for first slot? Well, I would recommend either Q or caps lock key, preferably caps lock key, because as I told you, ring finger is slow and it is always on A to move left. On the other hand, caps lock is good because you use your pinky finger only for shift, which is not very useful in PvP. Now for second slot and third slot, keep them 2 and 3 by default, because they are easy to reach and you already have a muscle memory for them. This segment is sponsored by Minecraft, a full MMORPG Minecraft server with over 5.2 million players. It has a huge hand-built world, real story-driven quests, and a fully unique item and ability system with 5 classes and 15 archetypes to choose from. It is designed to feel like a proper RPG, with minimal grinding and deep, long-running lore. I've been spending time playing Minecraft for a while now, and it genuinely feels closer to a standalone RPG than anything you would expect from a Minecraft server. The scale, polish, and amount of custom systems really stand out once you are in it. They recently released Fruma Expansion that is continuing the main storyline, increasing the level cap from 105 to 120, introducing new ultimate abilities for every class, and adding several new regions filled with custom mobs, content, and music. If you're a new or returning player, you can get the special Wyvern Starter Pack by joining the server with my IP, Corzin.wincraft.com. The Starter Pack includes your very own Wyvern companion to accompany you throughout your adventures, as well as a unique legendary weapon for your class of choice. And make sure to use my creator code, Corzin, during checkout on their store to get 5% off. Thanks, Wincraft, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's move on to the 4th slot. So you have 2 options here. Either keep it default to 4 or replace it with E key on your keyboard. Now, what you should select depends on one factor only. What are you putting in 4th slot? If you're putting an item which you don't use during PvP, like food or something, which you only need to consume after the hit exchange, then keep it 4 by default. But if you're using something which you have to use frequently, which in my case it is my spear, then you can set it to E key because it is closer and faster to reach than 4 key. Not same for the 5th slot though. Don't use the default number 5 key because it is hard to reach. I would recommend to switch it to either R key or F key. For me, it's the R key, and F is my offhand key, which I will tell you why a bit later. Now let's move on to the 6th slot. For me, it's the Alt key, and I don't know why people don't use Alt key at all.
Like it is next to your thumb, so you can easily switch to it. Also, it doesn't block or stop your movement too. Also, I won't recommend using the Z key because of the ring finger reflex. Another option is Swift key, if you want to consider it. Next up, we got 7th, 8th, and 9th slots, which in my case is X, C, and V key. All are in a row, and they are easy to reach too. Now, if you want to break your habit of using scroll wheel, you can do one thing. Go to Options, Controls, and then Mouse Settings. Then set your scroll sensitivity to 0. This will help you to adapt keybinds much faster. And some good game modes to improve keybinds fast is Spear Mace, Cart, Crystal, Diamond Pot, and UHC. Now let's talk about the mouse buttons. If your mouse has 2 side buttons, then I would recommend to set one mouse to an item which you use during attribute swapping, like mace or spear, or maybe axe, because mouse input is faster than keyboard. And don't set both buttons to attribute swapping. For example, don't put your axe and mace both on mouse buttons, because it will make stun slamming harder, because now you have to press both key with same finger. Now let's move to third part, optimal keybinds for every game mode in PvP. So this is what a standard mace kit looks like. As you can see, my sword is on V key, so it doesn't interfere with my movement keys. After that, we got mace at C key. Also, you can put mace and wind charges on same finger, because you don't use them together, but not mace and axe though. As you can see, I got axe at R key and mace at C key, so I can perform stun slam using 2 different finger. Also, you can put one item on side mouse button too, and I got my breach mace at E key, so it doesn't interfere with my W and S key. And one more important thing, don't put ender pearls and wind charge on same finger too. As you can see, I got pearls on middle finger and wind charges on my thumb, so I can pearl catch very fast. And my shield on caps lock, which I will explain in Spear Mace Kit. Spear Mace Kit. So this is what a standard Spear Mace Kit looks like. It is almost identical to Mace Kit, but you have to keep few things in mind. Spear dashing is one of the most important thing in Spear Mace PvP, so keep your spear on a slot which doesn't get involved in any type of movement. Mine is at R key, so I can use my W key and jump along with spear. Also, make sure the cooldown item you are using for spear dashing is also not on movement key or jump key. I usually use my shield as cooldown item for spear swapping, because first, it is not on any movement or jump key, and second, I can hold my shield up quickly if I am already on it. But you can also swap your shield slot with wind charge slot if you feel comfortable that way. Next up, we got Cart Kit. So this is what a standard high-tier cart kit looks like. So for insta-carting, use this layout. As you can see, everything is kinda same except few things. And one pro tip, you can replace your stun slamming slot to insta-carting slot. As you can see, I got rails in my axe slot and minecart in my mace slot, because I already have a pretty fast muscle memory of these slots. I got bow on my wind charge slot, because there's no wind charge in cart PvP. Also, blocks on my caps lock, because then I can place block without interrupting any kind of movement or jump. Same with cobwebs. I can use them with WASD key and jump button. Now let's move on to the crossbow carding. For crossbow carding, everything is same, except we got flint and steel on 4th slot and cobwebs on 2nd slot. Although you can replace cobwebs with your blocks, but I won't recommend that, because blocks can save you from damage, while cobwebs are used to trap the enemy. Now let's move on to the next kit, which is UHC. As you can see, kit is same, but keep few things in mind when you are creating your own keybinds. Number 1, keep lava bucket on a non-movement slot. Like, don't keep lava bucket on WASD finger. Mine is on the thumb. Number 2, keep your axe and sword on different finger, so you can stun the enemy easily. Also, don't keep axe at movement finger, like W and S finger, because then you have to stop every time you stun the enemy.
And finally, the Crystal Kit. In Crystal Kit, just keep these few things in mind. Number 1, keep your offhand key and inventory key on different fingers, so you can re-tote them very fast. Also, as you can see, I got obsidian and crystal on same finger, but anchor and glowstone on different finger. It's because in Hit Crystal, you only need to place obsidian once, then spam crystal. Also, it is easier for me to switch very fast because I can slide my finger on my keyboard. But in case of anchor, first, keep them on different finger.
So you can anchor fast, and secondly, keep them on non-movement fingers too. You can chain them easily. Now, let's move to the most important part. How can you create your own keybinds? First, go to a creative world and build a wall. Then place 9 signs in a row. Then mark your decided keybind on each sign from 1st to 9th slot. Then place item frame below signs for every kit you want to create keybinds for. And then just do the trial and test method and see what works best for you. And don't forget to check out Windcraft if you want to experience